we live?
We are live.
Awesome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and bees on this very, very, very hot summer day.
We're not sure if it's the hottest day in recorded history, but it was yesterday. But we have something even hotter with us today. We have Councilman Nick Lebron here. How are you?
Peace and love. I am blessed and grateful. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. So, you've been doing a lot in the community. You're making this jump now. You started with very humble beginnings in our city, and you didn't leave.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That was very important to me. I'm born and raised in Hartford, and know a lot of people who left Hartford, but I decided to stay. Just dedicated to my community. I raised my family here, met my wife here. So this is where I was born and raised, and this is where I'll stay.
So what is it you love the most about our city?
I'm sorry. What did I love the most about what?
About our city.
I think for me, it's where I found my first love, my wife. We've been married for 30 years, so I found love in the city. But I've also received a lot of love from the city, starting with my mom and dad, and then love from many community members, and also been able to show love. So I think the number one thing I love about our city is love.
And a lot of people really don't know this. You have a story kind of like a lot of people, like my parents even.
Sure.
So my parents were teenage parents.
Yeah.
My stepmom was a teenage mom. And they were also able to work their way up, but they were parenting at a different time, and they did leave Hartford. So it's interesting to hear your perspective that you found success in the city.
Yeah, I think it's important for me, and shout out to your parents, by the way, for being resilient, right? And everyone's journey is different. But for me, being a teenage father, by the time I graduated Hartford High, I had two children. And so, well, actually, one child and one on the way. And so, with that came a lot of risk factors and a lot of adversity having to overcome, not only going to school, but also having to work and survive. And when I mean work, I mean minimum wage work at $4.27 an hour. So it's very difficult. Also, coupled with the fact that we had to find our own place. So I had my own apartment, or looking for my own apartment, when I was just 15 years old. And I moved out the house when I was 16, the summer of my sophomore year. And haven't been back since. I'm very proud about that.
Definitely. And how was that? Because afterwards you invested in a very modest business.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't know that you actually climbed your way up. You started at a minimum wage job, but then what's your story from there, really? Because I know parts of it, but I haven't heard the whole.
There's a lot of moving pieces. So, the overall thing is, like most people in Hartford, you try to find your way, right? So I think, in Hartford, at Hartford High, before I even entered Hartford High, I played a lot of sports. So I had dreams of being an athlete or a basketball player, right? And then when I go to Hartford High my freshman year and I see Marcus Camby at 7 feet, I'm like, okay, this is probably not in my destiny, right? And then Hartford High had a bunch of great ballers. And so I remember going to the tryouts for JV, and there was like 300 people. And so I knew that was something that was going to be very difficult, although I challenged everybody to a 3-point contest. My 3-point jumper is still on point. And then, so then I became a teenage father. And so I had to find ways and other things, and had to work very quickly. So along with most folks, right, you try to do the 9-to-5 job, you try to do the traditional thing, but you don't make a lot of money. And so you okay, well, let me try my own shot at business. So I attempted 4 businesses. I had a carpet cleaning business, a hot dog cart, a courier business, and lastly, an office cleaning business. And so I tried all of these things, thinking that this was going to be the way out of poverty, that the traditional 9-to-5 route wasn't going to work for me. And so I tried my way at all of these different jobs. but was confronted by a lot of different obstacles, that's a lot of our small businesses face, you know, access to grants, marketing. There's a whole bunch of work outside of just delivering the services. And so those things didn't happen. And so, I went back to school, and that ended up being the difference. Education for me ended up being the different and end up being the difference and was the foundation for my future.
That's awesome. So it seems like, you know exactly what it takes to start a business now in Hartford. You've met every barrier possible, and you kind of want to help other people achieve that.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I
you
connect
want to
with
break
the
that
small.
down.
Yeah, I connect with the small business community very deeply. I have a lot of support all over the city, north, south, east, and west, different diversities. Folks with small businesses talk about their challenges and wanting help, needing supports and support systems, trying to find a way to navigate opportunities. It's just a very challenging thing. And one of the things that I can identify with is the struggles. And by knowing the struggles myself personally, I'm able to help them find solutions. But I think overall with this mayoral campaign is to find solutions for everyone. Myself single-handedly can't solve, individually, one by one, all the small business owners challenges, although I try, and I try every day. I think from the mayoral position there's more of an ability to provide access to opportunities for every small business, because I believe that every small business, they risk and invest on the best bet that they know, and that's themselves, and they should be applauded for that. But oftentimes there's so many red tape and so many barriers in the way that it becomes frustrating. They go into the business with something that they love, whether it's a restaurant or you want to sell clothes,
And it's
or even
usually
if you want to be a
it's
DJ,
something that they love. It's something they're
right?
usually good at.
Well, or even if you want to be a DJ, right? Like, like that's what your passion is. It isn't the number crunching. It isn't applying for grants. It isn't doing those type of things. So we need to provide better access to opportunities. The other thing that when I speak to small business owners that I be, learn to differentiate is that with these opportunities to access to services and grants and support, this was particularly highlighted during COVID. And what I mean by that, you started to see like the big business that had the infrastructure to write grants, apply for those things, get the architecture, get the renderings. They end up getting the grants, while the small business owners who are just struggling day to day and trying to get above water, they don't have the time and or the necessary infrastructure to gain access to the resources. So what you saw is, from a small business level, you saw other businesses proliferate and maybe get funding and access to funding, while the other folks really struggled, and a lot of them closed during COVID. And that is something that we need to share, and it's a story. People are investing in our city, and it's a story that we should celebrate and welcome. DJ Stealth being stealthy.
His
Technical
phone just
difficulty.
locked on him, so technical difficulties.
Okay.
I'm still in the
But
room.
yeah, something I noticed is you're not looking to bring businesses into Hartford. You're looking to invest in the businesses in Hartford.
Well, I think it's two pronged, right? I think well, actually it's three pronged, if you will. So I think there's the infrastructure, the blessings that we have with the small businesses, and a lot of people who want to start businesses. So incubator opportunities. I think the second thing is that there's a lot of projects that are in the development stage that you really can't go back on. There's a lot of money invested, time invested from the city side, and so you have to move those things forward. But we can't deny the fact that we need more business in order to increase our tax base. And I think there are opportunities. We're facing a new wave, and we need innovative solutions. What we find is that post COVID, the businesses have started to see that this old brick and mortar concept may not be the best for their bottom line. And so what we have to do is adjust. And there are many communities across the country that have made that adjustment. And I want to bring Hartford to the forefront of that adjustment as well. So it isn't just small businesses, it's small business plus.
I like that. Small business plus. I haven't heard that term before. So, what was the most heartbreaking part of having to close any of your businesses? Did you sell them? What happened with them? Because I know each one was a learning opportunity. This is something
Absolutely.
you had a lot of pressure on you as a parent. I know my
Yeah.
dad started a couple businesses themselves, a vending business, a cleaning business back in the 90s. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think,
how was that?
you ever, I forgot the poem, A Dream Deferred.
Yeah.
Yes, raising in
Yeah.
the sun.
So that's what I felt, right? Like every time you launch these businesses, it's a dream. When you go into it and you bet on yourself and you invest in yourself, like it's a dream that brings you there. It's passion that brings you there. And I tell you a story. When I started my carpet cleaning business, I was maybe about 21. And I remember when my partner and we bought a van, and there was a whole bunch of work. And I went down and I sat and told my mom, I said, Mom, this is it. I'm about to blow. This is it, Mom. I'm gonna get you that house. I'm gonna get you, all of the things. And we were really on a steep. We were really headed in the right direction. We got contracts nationally, in New England. We were really doing our thing. But like a lot of small businesses, you hit an obstacle, and the speed bump we hit like took the wheels off the van literally. So we had a single truck, and it was a carpet cleaning truck, and the engine went on it. And just that alone, in 2 to 3 weeks, we had to fix the engine. And the turnaround time, we end up losing one of our contracts, which one of our major contracts. And so, that's just an example of like how quickly it could turn around for you, because they didn't know any better. They thought we were a large business. So the contract that we had, I don't want to say the name of it, but it was a national chain. They saw the business. We approached it with as professionals. We were on point. We had all of the
You
things.
would have been there. You would have been there.
I
It
would
was
have been
that
there.
one
So they didn't
thing.
know. They didn't know any better. They didn't know we were just two guys with a truck. They didn't know. So when the engine went, they were like, okay, we'll just send somebody else. And so that's where the reality, and then all of that stuff started happening. So that was just like a major speed bump. But that's the biggest thing, that the disappointment with starting a small business is the dream deferred, right? That dream that's not actualized, and having to live with that reality, but living with that reality with your family, and your family living that reality with you.
I can relate
Yeah.
to that.
And you got all this pressure. You don't know what to do, and you just feel like you failed them. It's not even about you at
Yeah.
this point. It's like, what am I going to do? Right?
Yeah.
I got people depending on me.
Yeah, it's a courageous conversation, and a lot of tears, a lot of tears. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Just a lot of tears having to go back. A lot of people depending on me. My children, my wife, and so just facing the reality, and that's hard as a Puerto Rican male, right? We got machismo baked into our culture so deeply, and that's a lot of the elements of how I was
You
raised.
gotta you gotta sit there. You gotta take care of the wife and children. My dad
you
was
got
the
you
same
got to
way.
do those things. And here I was, having to come back to my family, um with that pain of not being able to do it. And so that's the difficult piece. What I hope is,
But it's a testament though to your wife because
yes.
let me tell you that four businesses that my stepmom would have been cussing my dad out. So y'all two are still in love like teenagers. I mean,
Yes.
anyone who I like I've seen everybody, right? And
Yeah.
everybody has these beautiful families. And then I see you and your wife, and it's like y'all still in the dating phase. What is this?
Well, I think there's a couple key things. So my wife has if you ask her story, she has a lot of critical things. Not that I'm trying to give dating advice where I'm on a campaign, but I think it's important because they're principles to consistency, right? And being married to those principles to provide the consistency. Number one, first and foremost, my wife and I go on a date, or try to go on a date every week for 30 years, right? And the other thing that we do is that we celebrate our milestones, right? I know some people think it's corny or whatever, but there's something about, at least for us, the energy of, let's say, Valentine's Day, and what am I going to do for her this Valentine's Day? How can I improve upon the next year, right? And the same thing for Father's Day. I got Bo Jackson's this Father's Day, which I was super happy about. Thank you, babe. Appreciate that. And I hadn't got Bo Jackson's in a while. I never got Bo Jackson's. Anyway, so it's those type of things that make you happy. Well, my wife and my children got me Bo Jackson's because I know my kids are watching, so they all chipped in. But either way, I got Bo Jackson's. So those are the type of things, right? Like I still get excited about that. And so I think it's those fundamental things to make sure that you keep connected. And I think a lot of those principles, and also resiliency. My wife stayed with me through a lot of challenging times, like you said, and she stuck with me, and her belief in me made me believe in myself.
That is awesome because, behind every time we get a good president, it's like, we always have this really strong wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting, let's see what God does, what God decides. But if she's the first lady, I already know that, she's going to be sitting there. We're going to have ourselves a little Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama. So.
Yeah, I mean, she when you talk about her strength is that of, the strongest person in the world. She's the rock. She held down the family. You believe you're making me get emotional. It's supposed to be something else. DJ Stuff, what's going on, man?
We want to know about you because the thing is, though, so you have a very detailed website, but a lot of people just know Nick LeBron. Sometimes he wears sneakers, but I always see him in a suit on TV.
Right. I mean, listen, it's a very.
But the thing is, though, you're into music and sports, and
yes,
why, you invest in that too.
Yes. So I have my own nonprofit that I started a long time ago, myself and my friends. We've grown it, right? Like I love sports. I started coaching football on the Ave at Cork Middle School 20 plus years ago. The first generation of young men that I coached are now fathers now, right? And so it's crazy. And then since I've been coaching, I also coach girls basketball, did all kinds of stuff. But anyway, we've grown. And I've had the ability to grow that. This year, we served over 4,000 kids with my nonprofit, Active City. And so, and this is all as a volunteer, right? This is all out of love for the city. DJ Stuff, we talk about love. This is the love. This is the give back, right? It's like I put that love out there, and so you receive that love. And so it's such a blessing to see, these older, the players become older and parents and bringing their kids to coach. And then also, my former players coming back and taking over some of my programs. This past year, I had one of my first basketball players from my girls program. We were dominant, by the way. We beat everybody in the state. I just want to throw that out there.
Congratulations.
Yes. And so she, so now she's coaching the young ladies, and I love to see that. And I think about her. Shout out to Nija. Nija is a tough coach. I'm like, wow, like she.
So so you're kind of like out there already, like you've already been boots on the ground everywhere.
I've been dedicated. I've dedicated my life to the city. I remember being a Cub Scout troop leader at Westbrook Village. In Westbrook Village, I had 10 Cub Scout troops. And the other thing too is the importance of trying your best to engage with those young people, not just in your program, but throughout, right? Sometimes you're only in people's lives for a bit, and you just try to take them from one position and make them in a better position. And sometimes it's a lifetime. So in that first Cub Scout troop program, I had someone who is a career in the Army, someone who has their own construction business, someone who's in the real estate business, someone who almost made the NFL. And so, I'm proud of those things. And that started when I was 18 years old, and as a Cub Scout troop leader.
Nice. Now, you invest in a lot of people. Who's your inspiration? Who was it that was by your side? Because I know you talk a lot about your mom.
Yes. That's my mama. My mama is probably watching right now. And when I get off right now, she's going to critique me and say, all of these things. But Mom has always been a blessing there from me. She was my first role model. So she was a teenage parent herself. And so her and my father, they were teenage parents. And, being born in Bellevue Square and Sim Street area, there was a lot of things that she had to overcome. But very early on, she kind of moved and shaped and made decisions that affected my life to this day. She valued education. But the other thing too is that mom educated herself. So as I was growing up, I seen her go back to school, and I seen her apply for jobs, and I seen her move up the career ladder and going to work every day, punching the clock. She was a social worker, and then I grew up in a social work home. So I've only known the giving profession. I lived it. And so back in the day, the services weren't there. Like case management was non-existent. There were times where on weekends, we were helping a family, avoid eviction or feeding families on the weekends. We had Thanksgiving dinners with homeless folks. Like, that's the environment I grew up. Homeless folks that became family, friends and family. It was never a charity thing. My mom always focused on, get sustainability. And this was before that was a popular word. And so that's my role model, my mama. So shout out to you, mom.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're about to cut to commercial break, but before we do, make sure to check out CamorrasCulturalCorner.com.
Practicing and living in community means that we're responsible to ourselves and others. It means that we're committed to engaging humbly and bravely with others who we may not agree with, but who share a similar worldview. Tensions and conflicts are gifts that allow us to grow together. Join our peaceful revolution.
Got the munchies. Sorry.
No, it's all good. What kind of empanadilla you got?
So I've got this camarón empanadilla from Aquí Me Quedo.
Wonderful, my peoples. Which one, Broad or the Ave?
So we went to the Ave, but we're checking out Broad tomorrow. So
Okay.
we like them both.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They approach the food with fidelity. You got Acapulco, yes, the original.
It's my favorite.
Yes, I'm so jealous. So jealous. I didn't have the time to stop by. I would love to be eating one right now. But my wife is probably watching right now. She's making coco gandules with carne guisada, which is how do you say carne guisada in English?
Stewed beef.
Stewed beef. But she makes it with a lot of onions and peppers, which I love. So I'm excited about going home to that.
Awesome. So I love our food and our culture.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're from the Virgin Islands.
Well,
So
my father's half is.
yeah, so he eats a lot of similar foods like the plátanos and stuff and the avocados.
Mm-hmm. All the guineos, the plantains,
There's a lot of
that,
cross cultures between America, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and other islands in the Virgin Islands.
yeah.
Plus,
Right.
there's differences between the various islands in both the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. But it's one and the same at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that was the export, right? That was the main the product that you had on the land. So it's understandable. And then when we became colonialized, right? Then it became something else.
So I found out that in his island, the Virgin Islands, they have to come to our island in order to go to the mall. So they don't have a mall. They take a ferry to Puerto Rico.
Wow, I did not know that. And that's to go to the Mall of America.
Yeah, and in San Juan.
In San Juan,
It takes about an hour per trip. It's about 60 miles.
Right.
It's affordable. Anybody can go.
Right. No, that's awesome. I think I did not know that. But
I guess it's like going to the flea market in New Haven, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, the flea market 45 minutes, but the only difference in the flea market, they got a lot of bootleg stuff, which is all good. Shout out to the bootleggers. Maybe not shout out to the bootleg. I don't know.
Well, no, I be buying from there. So, or no, going to.
We
Times
all
Square
have. When you come up, sometimes you had to do it, right? You can't buy the Timberland jeans, and so you get the Timberland jeans, and you hope nobody see that it don't got a T on it.
Nah, because you're gonna sit there and sag your hoodie.
Exactly. You just wear a long T-shirt.
Inspired, not bootlegged. Yep, that's right. So I still got this Luz Clarita watch. um from the novela. I used to watch it with my grandmother. I still got this watch from when I was 12 years old. I used to watch it with her. So
Mm-hmm. Yes, the novelas. I used to watch with my grandmother, Chapulín Colorado. Colorado. Chapulín Colorado. You're probably too young for that one.
mm-mm.
It was more of a comedy show than
so
anything else. But my grandmother would let me watch that with her.
so I kind of remember La Condesa del Bochinche.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of an inspiration of mine. So.
Listen, I love Walter Mercado, right? Like so.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Walter, the original astrologist.
Yes, I used to love watching that with my grandmother, and she used to be like, "No eres Sagitario." I'm like, "Grandma, I was born on election day."
Oh, you were born on election day. That's what's up.
Well, kind of. So November 8th is my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you're a Scorpio.
mhm.
Mm.
You are a Taurus.
Aries, close. Aries, yeah, very
Are
close.
you a late Aries?
I'm a late Aries. Yeah, my daughter is there into this. I'm a triple fire sign.
Oh,
Triple fire. I don't know what that means, but apparently that's why I'm always hot. That's what they tell me.
I'm a Earth sign. I'm a Virgo.
You're a Virgo.
Yep.
September, right? September.
Yep. September 21st.
Okay.
he's on the cusp of Libra.
21st night of September. Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's my anthem every year.
They should have really called you that.
September or Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Libra.
I like that for a nickname, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, he kind of is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. I went to their what do you call it? The band, the cover band. I went to go see their cover band. That was actually one of our dates for one of, I think, our anniversary, my wife and I anniversary last year or maybe 2 years ago. We went to go see the Earth, Wind, and Fire cover band. It was awesome. They did a great job. The room, no matter what age bracket or whatever, you play some Earth, Wind, and Fire, everyone's gonna know the songs. Everyone knows the hits. It was such a fun night.
It's timeless music.
Yeah, timeless music. Yes, timeless.
Yes. You can't put it in the box. You gotta. When music is timeless, people hear it, they feel it. They're not worried about where it's from, what era, or anything like that. It's old, it's new. It's just good music.
Right. It's just good music.
Yeah. So, you're a fan of hip hop, right?
Of course, yes.
All right. So, who is your favorite hip hop artists or groups?
Okay, so
Local
overall-
and
local and all right. So shout out to Hartford Poe in Hartford. That's my favorite local artist. I saw him 2 years ago. I bought one of his local. I like Sholi the Holy. Have you ever heard of Sholi the Holy out of Bridgeport?
Shirley the
Sholi, SHOWLY, Sholi the Holy. When he came on I-95, oh my goodness, that verse he spit on I-95 was just timeless. He had this one line that said, "It's not the elements on you, it's the elements in you." I was just like, this is the best. That, like, he was talking about people wearing jewelry. It was just amazing. And he talked about people signing statements with bad penmanship. it was so amazing. But I think overall the catalog, right? I think you have to go with Jay-Z. I mean, just from beginning to the end, the catalog is just so large, and the success, you can't deny the success. I think, in terms of like stylistic lyricism and being able to put words together, you talk about Big Pun. That in the middle of Little Italy, didn't we know that the riddles of Little Man who didn't do diddly? I can't even say it, right?
Dead in the middle of Little Italy, Little did we know that we riddled some middlemen who didn't do diddly.
There we go. Right. And you said it much slower than he did.
Yeah, I got a lisp, so I need.
So, and then I
know
think,
that song.
and I can't deny, I cannot deny Nas, right? Like there was a time when Nas came out with that album. I forgot the name of the album. I can't remember it, but I remember the intro that started "Fake Thugs, No Love." Oh my, it
was written. That's the second album.
Oh my goodness, that
Yes.
album! I know all the songs to this day from front to back, and then in terms of group, I think you can't deny the Wu, you know, the Wu Tang and what they did during that era. I do like the Locks, Jada. I think when they had that versus battle with Dipset, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart what they did to Dipset. It hurt me.
What the Locks did was an ultimate display of showmanship, readiness, preparedness, knowing the material, knowing the audience, and stage presence, all of that. They practice.
Yeah, no, they did. They definitely came ready. And then when Jada did the Kobe thing in the corner, I was like, oh my God. It was so bad when I was watching because I love Dipset, right?
Everybody does. You're fun.
Yeah, right. I love Dipset. I like Joel Santana. That first album he came out with, I think was fire. But there was a point the versus battle was so bad that I left. I was watching it with my friends, and I was like, I just can't see it no more. This is embarrassing.
Yo.
See, I watched it after it was live, like the same night after everything was all said and done. And then I watched it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop watching.
Yeah. I think maybe I watched it after. It was just so bad. And the next day, I mean, I think maybe for a week, people were showing clips. I think Jim Jones fell off the stage.
The way they were all dressed, yo.
Right. And then, you know, when Jada said, man, you live in Miami. You're not from here. You live in Miami. I was just like, oh. It was amazing. So anyway, I could talk about hip hop for days.
I could talk about hip hop all day. Like,
here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know. So coming up in Hartford, just like everybody else, right? So I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be a basketball player. You know, that dream was crushed. But there was a time when I was struggling making minimum wage, right? That I wanted to be a rapper. So I did pay to get some tracks done. And I'm not sure how good I was lyrically. I thought I was nice at the time. Only, you know.
Perform them.
But but this is why I was gonna singularly blow off of my rap name. And in my rap name, and I'm gonna copyright it here. So if anybody uses it, I'm getting rights to it. My rap name was Lucky Jinx.
Lucky Jinx.
Yeah, because my nickname from when I was in middle school.
It's proof right here on the smoke break. He owns it. So y'all can't take it. It's his idea, and he will sue you till he's
This is a recorded record for all the courts.
Yes, exactly. So my nickname in middle school was Lucky. And then my buddy Bebe, he was also trying to be a rapper. And so a lot of us, and he was like, Nick, I got a name for you. I remember how excited he was, like, yo, I got to see you. I got to talk to you face to face. And then when we seen each other, he was like, Lucky Jinx. And I was like, you're right. And that was it. I was just going to blow off the name. What you guys think? I would have been able to make it just off the name.
You know what? You can still do something local. So we millennials are getting older, but I mean, look at 2 Chainz.
What's up with 2 Chainz? Tell me the story.
Oh yeah, 2 Chainz is a Gen Xer, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and he came out when he was older. So I mean, you know.
Okay. Actually, it's funny you mentioned Jay-Z because the average age for brand new rappers, even in the 90s, is anywhere between 18 and 22. Jay-Z's debut album dropped. Jay-Z was 27 years old. It was unheard of for a brand new rapper to be that old dropping their debut. And never mind, he's been recording and releasing music since he was 16. But at 27, he drops his debut. Now, while it wasn't a smash platinum hit right away, it's a certified classic to this day, and he has classics under his belt since then. And
so what
rise and everything that he's going through to get to where he is now. Some of the stuff I
including Beyonce. Let's that's a power couple. But going back to Jay-Z's individual skills, one of the things that he did, I think he marketed that well, because I remember when I think it was Reasonable Doubt, when he came out with Reasonable Doubt, he created a movie to it. Do you remember? Did you ever see that movie?
Oh, Streets is Watching.
Streets is
I did
Watching.
not.
Yeah, I did
Yes.
see it.
I'm the
Yes.
politics nerd.
And so
Almost.
so like right there, I was like, it made me do a double. Like I had to listen to his songs again, right? So the songs may have passed you, but when he came out with Streets is Watching, you had to go back and revisit him again. And during that time, there wasn't any social media. So then it's like, okay, now I got to find Streets is Watching. So then you go find a bootlegger. Shout out to Nui bringing it back.
This dude made a whole hood movie for the simple fact that he wanted to sell an album with other artists.
Yes.
That is fantastic marketing.
Yes, fantastic marketing, fantastic ability to be able to serve, keep his music relevant.
And only a mature mind can think of that. So it's never too late it's never too late.
Never too late. You guys telling me I should after I sunset being married to be 50, 60-year-old rapper coming back?
You know what? Luke Bronin, have you heard his SoundCloud?
No, I have not heard his. I heard Luke Bronin perform.
No. So I want you to know that Luke Bronin wrote music for Dawson's Creek, and it's on SoundCloud along with an album named after himself.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not.
So,
but I seen him. It doesn't surprise me. I seen him sing live. I seen him sing live for an audience, and I was pretty surprised by that, and he did really, really well. He had the crowd jamming. So
yes, well, the boy got talent. He definitely needs to do something after he steps down. I know he got political aspirations, but I'm like, the boy needs to get back into music.
Yeah. I saw him perform.
City nowadays, so he can find an avenue anywhere.
Yes.
I tell you what, if Luke Bronin comes back to bring his music career, I will seriously consider DJ Stealth. You'll be my producer.
I'm with it. I got new production equipment. I'm with it.
Yo, we'll just sample a whole bunch of Earth, Wind, and Fire songs.
He actually just did an Afro beats mix. It's actually pretty good. It's on his SoundCloud.
Okay.
It's not a mix. It's what I did is I took a song from the 80s from a group most people don't know about, found the acapella vocals and I remixed it into Afro beats. So it's went from 80s dance pop to Afro beats and I just flipped the whole thing upside down.
Yeah. All right. I gotta hear that. So it's on SoundCloud?
So SoundCloud is called Another Weekend.
Another Weekend?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Because, you're sitting there and he actually got this amazing amount of hits. It actually got more hits than the original. But we do have the country's only rap troubadour. Everyone else has a singer.
Right. Correct. Oh my God. He's going to get so Kaim the poet, right? Yeah.
Kaim the rap poet. Kaim Kelly.
He is the country's only rap poet.
Mm-hmm.
We're very proud of that fact. He's like art. So you previously wanting to be a rapper, something I've tweeted many times is you're not from Hartford if you don't got a SoundCloud.
Well, listen, when I was recording back in the day, we did it on tapes, cassette tapes. So I'm dating myself there.
Me and my boys, we printed out CDs. We found a
Yo, I remember that.
For 100 CDs, get some jewel cases, print it up, and then sell it $10 a pop. What's up?
Yeah, listen, right out your car. Well, it was you had to get a certain cassette to record on. It was like the higher end cassette.
The Type 4 metal tapes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Those are the ones.
Yeah. That I don't remember, but I remember my producer, which was really my friend, right? I call him producer, so we, but he was my friend. He took me just like, no, you got to get this one. This is the tape you got to get.
Yeah, I know sound equipment. So back in those days, I know like the general public, they would use what they call either type 1 or type 2. Like type 1 is for like answer machines and whatnot. Type 2 is for stereo recordings. But then the type 4s, those are the heavy duties. That's like they sound just like a vinyl record. Is that crystal clear?
Right. I guess that's what I bought, man. It was back in the day with my little $4.27 an hour job. I think like a day's worth of salary went to buying those tapes. Again, investing in yourself, circling it back, right?
Yes.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, $40 per 100, and we sold over 2,000, mostly by foot.
Out the
You know,
truck.
at every bus stop.
Yeah, I mean, I shout out to that because I remember like so one time this guy I was coming out of Stop and Shop, and look, I'm from Hartford, right? So I was coming out of Stop and Shop, and he rolls up on me.
Wait. The one on Park Street when it was Bradley's Stop and Shop and Walgreens, or the
No,
one on New Park?
the one on New Park.
Okay.
So he see, I don't know what it was. So anyway, I come out, and he just pulls up on me. Now, you from Hartford, somebody pulling up on you, like, you're gonna step back and see what's up. So I remember stepping back. So he pulls up on me. He was like, "Yo," and I look back and I take a look at him, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he was smoking, whatever, and so this cloud hit my face, and so I'm looking through the fog, like, and he's like, "Yo, buy my CD, man, it's a hit, yo," and I tell you, his tenacity and his he was intense. I was like, you know what? I had $10 on me. I said, just give me your CD. And I love that hustle. A lot of that is, as you can see here, this is one of the things in my office. Every day I'm hustling. One of my staff gave it to me.
Hey.
And, I love the hustle. There's something about that where, again, going back to people believing in themselves.
I love that. All right, guys, it's getting to be that time.
Okay.
So this has been fun.
Yes.
And did you have anything else for our viewers that you wanted to let them know while you're here? Now is the time.
Well, I think for me is to understand that, yes, I hope that one of the things that came out today was that I'm just like most people from Hartford. I call, I say that I'm a Hartford success story, but there are many Hartford success stories. And, but not only do I have that and have a lot of similar experience from folks in Hartford, I also have the professional experience. Don't get it twisted, as they would say, right? Like, I've gotten over $500 million for the educational system, have changed the children's behavioral health system as a community organizer, have advocated and changed policy on a statewide level for the department against the Department of Social Services. So, like, I have that political acumen. And now, as a city councilman, I was the chair of Health and Human Services during the worst pandemic that Hartford's ever seen, and did that as a rookie councilman, and was able to take that on. And not only that, we were one of the most successful cities in the state. There was a time where Hartford was doing the best in terms of the lowest positivity rates, and I'm proud of those things. So not only do I have the personal experiences and the lived experience and the struggles to know the solutions, but I also have the professional experience to understand how policy needs to be delivered to every person that it lives in the city of Hartford, and the way that they deserve it, that they rightfully deserve.
Awesome.
Peace and love.
All right. Peace and love, everybody.
All right.
Peace.
Take care. I appreciate you guys.
All right. And good luck.
Thank you.